Hey, what's up my bag loving friends? Remember that viral, very affordable backpack I did a review on just a couple of weeks ago? Well, they've upgraded. You're looking at the brand new BagSmart Blast, and they've made some very significant upgrades to this bag without much change in price. So let's get into it. This is a 40-liter travel backpack that comes in at around $100. Now there is a link in the description of this video for 10% off of the BagSmart Blast if this video is convincing to you and you want one of these bags for yourself. Now when I did the original review of the BagSmart Blast, I was blown away by the amount of features they had built into such an affordable bag. And from my perspective, these bags are actually competing with some of the more expensive, more nicer, bigger brand bags that I've reviewed. This bag is no exception. There are some significant upgrades in this bag that I can't wait to dive into with you. Every single bag review I do, I pack it out just as I would as if I was going on a trip that was 7 to 10 days long. We're gonna unpack it together and you can start to get an idea of how you might pack this bag out for travel trips of your own. I also like to score every single bag in 5 categories so you can compare them to other bags. Those 5 categories are construction, functionality, comfort, organization, and finally aesthetics. Let's dive into it. Construction of this bag. What is the majority of the material that they've used to build the bag? And then how did they bring it all together? The majority of the exterior of the body of this bag is a ripstop nylon. It's very robust. It has a lot of structure to it. It's pretty thick and I think it's gonna wear really, really well. One of the significant upgrades that they made to the Blast is the actual zippers. The other zippers were a no-name brand and they were a little bit sticky. YKK is the most reputable zipper company out there and all of the most expensive high-name brands trust YKK with their bags. Now I will say the bag has the same weight zippers all over it. So some of the more main compartments like your main packing compartment and your laptop compartment, I think could have stood to have a little bit of a heavier zipper to it, but nonetheless, they really stepped it up by using a reputable zipper brand rather than a no-name brand. All of the nylon webbing components like the handles and the shoulder straps and the tightening straps is that soft, really silky webbing, and it's pretty thick, so it's gonna hold really, really well. And all of the points of connection with the bag, whether it's webbing, zippers, or straps, really seem to be reinforced well and sewn really well. Even the handles are a full solid strap going around the bag, which is a really cool idea because it gets to distribute the stress of the bag along the whole perimeter and it actually even goes up underneath the bag. The inside material of this bag is where we might have some issues. There is like a very soft microfiber material on the inside of the bag that seems a little bit thin. I think there is a potential for a breakdown in that material, but it's gonna be a really long road to that breakdown. I wanna talk about the water bottle holder. This is my 24-ounce Owala and it is just flopping all over the place. This elastic is pretty weak and it doesn't hold a lot of tension. So not only is it flopping now with the bag being basically brand new, this elastic has the potential of wearing out pretty quickly. But for the most part, the construction of this bag, I am really, really happy with, especially at the price point of just at $100 for the bag. I think they did an excellent job at picking their materials and getting it put together in a very robust way. I'm giving it a 4 out of 5 in construction. The next category is functionality. Sometimes it's hard to delineate between functionality and organization. So I'm not gonna go too deep into the actual organization of the bag at this point, but just talk overall about the functionality, what it's like to use it. The first point I wanna make is it has 3 handles. Now this is awesome. If you've traveled a lot and you're particularly a one bag traveler, you know how many different spaces and places that this bag needs to be put into, and having any point of grabbing is so crucial. So I love that they put a good robust reinforced handle on the top, on the side of this bag, and even on the bottom of this bag. The original version of the Blast actually had a zipper that was a expansion zipper. This does not have that feature, but they did keep the compression straps. So when you don't have the bag fully packed out, you can still tighten that bag down to the size of the contents that you have inside so that you don't have a lot of bag flopping all over the place. This is becoming standard in a lot of travel backpacks, and they did a fantastic job with it. The webbing is robust, the buckles are robust, and they're really easy to use, and they don't overlap any of the side zippers. So if you take a look at this, the zipper starts right here, that's next to this one. The laptop zipper is behind this one. All the zippers have easy grab zipper tabs, and I'll talk a little bit more about this in organization, but functionality wise, most of the pockets are very accessible, and they're in positions that feel very, very natural. Of course, on the back side of the bag, you also have a pass-through strap. So if you wanna set this on any roller luggage or anything that has a handle, that's easily accessible as well. So for functionality, I gave this bag a 5 out of 5. I think it's so well thought through. You can tell that it was tested and iterated. It was used in the making of it, which is very rare. Typically big name brand bags, you can tell they took it out in the field, they tested it. I absolutely can tell somebody who travels, they did it. This bag embodies it. All right, so let's talk about comfort. There are some significant improvements on this bag around comfort from the original version of the BagSmart Blast. First off, the handles, silky smooth, really nice to grab, lots of area space to grab them. They don't crunch my hand when I've got a lot of weight and I'm carrying it that way. The handles are not padded. So that is one thing that probably could have been paid attention to, but I would rather have a nice, robust, solid handle with no padding than some of these really flimsy handles that are on some of the budget bags. Let's take a look at the back side of the bag because this is where most of the comfort elements happen. First thing I want to point out is they have significantly improved the padding on the back side of this bag. On the original version, I could feel my laptop against my back when it was packed out. Now I can't feel a thing. It's super thick padding on the back with this breathable mesh all along, and we have these breathable lines inside of the mesh as well. This is very comfortable. Next thing is they added stowable waist belt. I have the Cotopaxi Alpa. It's the bag that I've been using for years and years and years. And they have this similar feature where you have this padded waist belt that stows away in the lumbar of the bag. When I'm not using the waist belt and they're stowed away in the back, it actually adds a lumbar support to the bag in the curve of my back. And so it makes this backside of this bag even more comfortable than most. But the addition of this waist belt is so crucial in my opinion, especially when we're talking about a 40-liter bag, because you can get some serious weight in this bag. And having all that weight on your shoulders with no support on the waist, no bueno, at least for me. This thing is awesome. What an addition. Now, let's talk about the straps. First off, it's a very thin strap, both right here on the face of it and the profile. There's very little padding inside of the strap. And when we turn it over, we do have that really nice breathable mesh on the inside of the straps that can help reduce any sweating. There's not much of an S-curve to the strap. The reason that that's so crucial so that you don't get any rubbing on your neck or on your arms as you're wearing it. So there is that potential for that rubbing. They have rounded the edges out with some really nice soft nylon to help reduce any likelihood of getting any of that rubbing or discomfort in those areas. The sternum strap is awesome. The buckle is very, very solid and you can tighten it all the way down. Usually this isn't a problem for me or people with larger frames, but if you have a smaller frame, not being able to tighten this all the way down and having that stupid shock absorbing bungee on them can actually make the sternum strap obsolete. It's not taking that weight and holding it into the core of your frame. I thought they did an absolute awesome job on this sternum strap. And of course you can adjust the height of it. One of the best additions other than the belt strap to the comfort of this bag is they've put load lifters on the straps. So when these are loose, I want you to just take a look at where the strap goes into the bag. What that does with a strap that low is it can make the bag top heavy. And that creates that feeling of being pulled back by your bag. When you use these load lifters on the strap and pull them up like that, it puts the point of contact of the bag to the top. And so now all that weight's up there. And even when you have the waist belt on, you could actually have room and no weight on your shoulder straps. They're just more there to hold the bag in place rather than to be weight bearing. In my opinion, those additions alone to the BagSmart Blast make it a contender with some of the best bags out there. There's so many cool things around comfort with this bag that they've added to it. The only oversight was these shoulder straps. So I gave it a 4 out of 5 on comfort. All right, for my favorite part, organization. I love a highly and well organized bag. Some people want just an empty shell and they'll use pouches and bags to do their own organization. Not me. I love all my organization to be built in as long as it's done well, and they killed it on this bag. So we've got this accessible pocket right here at the top of the bag. This is a cool kind of shallow pocket that can hold different things that are flat. So right now I've got a battery charger in there. I've got sunglasses. We have these zipper mesh pockets up here at the top so you can see what's in there. You do have to open this pouch in order to open this pouch. This is that thinner microfiber material that I was telling you about. And I'm not gonna belabor the point, but I do think that this is a potential point of weakness for this bag. Let's move to the front side of the bag. I thought this was a very interesting decision in the design of this bag, but I can see use cases for it. We do have this mesh bag. Now, I always carry an extra layer for my top, somewhere accessible in my bag so that when it's chilly on the plane or the train, I can just pull out my sweatshirt and put it on very easily, and I don't have to dig through the main compartment of my bag. This pocket right here is very sizable. Other than a sweatshirt, I don't think there's anything that I carry that I really want people to be able to see when I'm walking through the airport. But nonetheless, I'm gonna keep a sweatshirt in it all of the time, but it does kind of make the bag look a little bit more messy. Next, we have this front admin pocket. And this front admin pocket goes all the way, the whole length of the bag. This is cool. It folds out. It's a half clamshell. It is that microfiber material on the inside. And then we have some really nice mesh organization pockets. We have a solid organization pocket. They could have puckered this pocket a little bit to give it a little bit more room, but it can still hold fairly flat things. The other thing with the microfiber material on the inside is stuff that's kind of rubbery feeling doesn't slide in real easy. You have pen holders. I have a notebook in here. You also have a very interesting key leash, which has a release on it. So if you need to put your keys in here and you need access to them easily, you could just take that off. Directly behind that, we have the main packing compartment. The original Blast opened up like a duffel bag. So basically it had a zipper right here for the main compartment, and it would open a flap. This looks much more like a traditional travel backpack. Next, I wanna talk about the water bottle holder. I think this is probably the biggest miss on design for this bag. The big miss is that they could have used this same stretchy mesh material to make this pocket. It would be less bulky, less weight, and it would hold its structure for so much longer, and it would hold the water bottle really tight. On this side of the bag, we have two really cool, very accessible pockets. If you've seen any of my other videos, I do talk about functionality and being able to access things without putting my bag on the floor. So we have two pockets here. We have this side puckered pocket that has a ton of space and room. It even has some little organizational slots in there for like credit cards or that sort of thing. I have my phone in it right now. There's also this RFID legal document pocket right here where I would keep my passport. It's very easily accessible. I can grab my passport out in the customs line without setting my bag on the ground. So those are really cool designed pockets from my perspective. Next, I want to take a look at the electronics pocket. There's some great things about the electronics pocket. It's like this 3/4 clamshell design. So unfortunately, it doesn't open up all of the way, but that's all right. Now you've got this nice little front area right here. It does have two slots, so I can have my laptop in here, and it's well protected, very, very soft. And I also have my remarkable tablet in here. The pockets don't go all the way to the ground, and there is some additional air padding at the bottom just in case the bag gets set down hard. Now, the miss is this strap. When my laptop's in here, my laptop goes all the way to the top, or comes up to the top of this pocket, and you just can't tighten this strap down. All they would have to do is run a bit more Velcro down this strap, and it would accommodate and hold secure all sizes of laptop. This really is built for a very big laptop to be sticking out and held secure like that. You also have this mesh pocket on the inside where you can keep all of your electronics, cords, chargers. This mesh is not stretchy, but there is a lot of room inside of it. Let's get into the main packing compartment. It opens up right here behind the admin pocket, and it's a full clamshell opening. So we can unfold this thing completely open like this. On the front side of the pocket, we have a really nice sized mesh pocket. I definitely could have eliminated one of these packing cubes just by packing underwear and socks into this mesh pocket. It'll stay organized and in place. I love how big this thing is. You also have this water resistant kind of toiletry bag as well. I'm not a huge fan of having this plastic inside of my bags. Typically it breaks down faster than any of the other materials in the bag, and it doesn't prevent leaks really. I mean, it might contain it. Just know that the back side of this is also lined in plastic, so it does help reduce the chance of any of those leaks. So I've got my gravel travel compression packing cubes in here, underwear, socks for 7 to 10 days. That's with doing laundry. And then I've got my shirts in this one. These are the smaller size gravel travel packing cubes that if you've watched any of my videos, I love these things. Then I, of course, have my sleeper hold travel pillow. I do have it in the main compartment. One cool thing that they did keep in this bag is the shoe compartment with a extra cool feature to it. This was really surprising. So on the bottom of the bag, you can see you have these breathable holes here. It takes space in the main compartment, but it's separated by this nice material right here, and I keep my shoes in there so that my shoes aren't up against anything in my clothes inside the main compartment, which is really cool. And I've seen that in other places, and I think it's a great idea. They took it a step further. On the inside, you can zip away all this material so that it's not inside and messing up the main compartment of the backpack. So when I have that zipped up like that, it's completely put away, and I don't even really notice that it's there. I just think it's so rare that a company making an affordable bag like this is that thoughtful in those kinds of details. You do have these internal strap down straps that hold things into place when you're traveling. They are very robust. They take a little bit of room, and the nylon webbing is a bit stiff on them. And if you don't use them, it's a little bit challenging to get them tightened all the way down to get them out of the way. One feature that I've seen other backpacks have with these is that they're detachable. I'm thinking about like the Tom Bin Bixie. You can actually take these straps out of the bag because these just aren't a feature that I think everybody uses. The other thing that you can use this shoe bag for is dirty laundry. As you're traveling and you haven't gotten to the laundromat yet, keeping it separate from your clean laundry can be a real benefit as well. So clearly, I'm not good at hiding my excitement about the organization of this bag. I gave it a 5 out of 5 on organization. I think it's probably, if not the best, one of the best organized backpacks I've ever used and reviewed. And the last category, aesthetics. Aesthetics is a very subjective thing. It's what you like. So my taste and what I like is going to be different than what you might like, but I do like my bags to look cool, and it does weigh into my decision making. With the BagSmart Blast, the first thing is it comes in a couple of different really cool colors. I liked this one the best, this like pearly white with some green accents to it in the handles. I also think it's a very normal looking backpack. It's got a little bit of that square box look to it, but not so much, not so square and boxy that it feels unnatural. The compression straps really help with the aesthetics of it, so I can strap it down and make it as small as the contents of the bag so I'm not flopping all over the place. And I just think that they did a great job on the way that it looks. The one thing I don't love about BagSmart is I think the logo looks a little bit like maybe like a cardboard box store, but it's pretty subtle. They matched it. It's like this tan on the pearly white, so it's not going to be that noticeable. I know I'm being picky, but these are things that I think about. I love that they use some aqua or green stitching in the front pocket to match the handle. just some really cool details that made it look pretty good. So I gave it a 4 out of 5 in aesthetics. All right, my friends, that's it. That's the BagSmart Blast 2.0. I hope this review has been helpful for you. I hope it's been entertaining. If you do decide to grab one of the blasts for yourself, use that link in the description below so you make sure you get that 10% discount. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single bag review. And until next time, happy packing, my friends. Peace.